Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, a place for new moms, moms to be, and moms with a new baby looking to create the best and nourishing foundation for their little one. Today, we're talking about what reflux is, what silent reflux looks like in babies. I'm going to teach you about breastfeeding and reflux and formula and reflux, what happens when you do nothing at all for your baby who has reflux. And then lastly, I'm going to tell you remedies for your baby who's experiencing reflux. Let's talk about reflux in babies, the symptoms. So you have spitting up, and this is more than usual spitting up, vomiting, projectile vomiting, and this is either half of their feeding or the entire feeding, clenched fists, abnormal arching of their back, gagging, congestion, wheezing, and hiccups. For a baby who is experiencing silent reflux, it's going to look pretty much the same, except for the fact that you're not really going to see babies spitting up. They're going to be gagging back what they're spitting up. If you have a baby who is being breastfed and is experiencing reflux, you got to hear this part. Reflux is not as common as it can be with babies who are formula fed. However, it does happen. And I want to tell you that one of the main causes for reflux in babies is something that's in mom's diet. If she's breastfeeding, something that she's consuming, either a food or a beverage, is creating the reflux in the baby. Now, if you have a formula fed baby, it's going to be completely different because there are a few different methods as to why a baby who's being formula fed is experiencing reflux. So the first reason is baby is reacting to some type of ingredient in the formula, whether it be the dairy, the soy, the sugar, the corn syrup, the added DHA and ARA, or some ingredient could be the trigger to your baby's reflux. The second thing that could be triggering your baby's reflux is babies who are formula fed tend to be overfed. And this is so common because we want to see how much we want to feed baby, and we want to make sure that they're full and they're satiated. So I find that a lot of formula feeding moms, including myself, overfeeds their babies. They give them way too much for their little stomach to digest. If you think of it, a baby's stomach is as small as their fist. Well, this is my fist. My fist is pretty big compared to a baby's fist, but think of their little fist. That's the size of their stomach. So if we're giving them 5 ounces, 7 ounces, 8 ounces, it's going to expand the stomach, and it's going to sit there for a really long time because their stomachs are starting to feel really overwhelmed. Third reason why babies who are formula fed are experiencing reflux is that the formula sits in their stomach for a really long time. Like I just mentioned, it sits there for a really long time, and that's when it starts to come up into their esophagus. That's when they start to experiencing the gagging, the wheezing, the coughing, the projectile vomiting, or vomiting in general, spitting up. But babies who have silent reflux will just spit it up inside their mouth and then just gag it back down. And this is a really uncomfortable process for them. I'm sure you know because you are watching this video and you have a baby who is experiencing reflux, so you see their pain and their discomfort that they're feeling. Okay, are you ready to hear what happens if you do nothing with your baby who has reflux? There are a few different things that can happen with a baby who's experiencing reflux and we do absolutely nothing. So the first thing that can happen is babies who are experiencing reflux, their valve between their esophagus and their stomach starts to get really weak. And that's when reflux is happening every single feeding, and they're experiencing discomfort all day long. And this is when doctors can diagnose GERD. This is when you see a lot of babies going in for a specific type of surgery that wraps their stomach and their esophagus together to help with the reflux. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we really want to avoid having to do that because we can address reflux naturally. We can address it and heal it without having to go to that extreme measure of giving them surgery. Okay, are you ready for the remedies for reflux? I'm going to give you some really great remedies, and I'm so excited because I can't wait for your baby to feel better, because I know the feeling of having a baby with reflux, and I want to give you all the tools that you need to help baby feel better. For breastfeeding moms, it's really important to check out your diet. I find that a lot of moms who are breastfeeding and have a baby with reflux, they consume a lot of coffee, a lot of sugar, and that's one of the main causes for babies' reflux. However, it can be completely different for every mom and every baby. So take a look at your diet, keep a food journal, and see if you can narrow down what you're consuming to when baby's experiencing reflux and discomfort. If you are formula feeding your babe, listen to this. The first remedy that I can give to you to help baby feel better is reduce the amount of milk you're giving to them per feeding. Try to give them at least 3 to 4 ounces. If they finish that bottle, next feeding, give them an extra ½ ounce. And then if you find that they finish the bottle completely again after you added that ½ ounce, give them another ½ ounce at the next feeding. So slowly increase it every half feeding until there's a little bit formula left in the bottle, because I always tell clients, make sure you are prepared to waste a little bit of formula, because you are not overfeeding them if you're wasting just a little bit in the bottle. That means that they're getting what they need. So honor what they're consuming, honor their digestion. The next tip that I can give you is check out your baby's formula. Check out the ingredients, check it out, compare it to other formulas, look around, do a little bit more research about the ingredients and the quality of formula, and I can guarantee you it can make a huge difference. And make sure you stick around for next week's episode so you can check out the 3 important things that I have to tell you about your baby's digestion. And to watch more videos, check out this video here about colic and about formula and breastfeeding.